Hello, world. This is Lisa Neller here with Lisa Neller Coaching, and I have my fellow coach, Colleen McCloskey, here with me. She's so fun, and we're just a couple of coaches that like to help people. And so we had this idea of coming together and talking about some interesting topics that might be helpful to you. And tonight, we're going to talk about trying to find some balance in mind, body, and spirit. Because these are like really important things to us, right, Colleen? Mind, body, and spirit. That's kind of what we are. It's kind of what we're made up of. And so we're going to talk about this. And Colleen, I'm going to shoot it to you to have you tell us, why is it important to focus on mind, body, spirit? Why the three? And, what questions would you ask of people who are considering finding this balance?
Yeah. So I think right now, looking at self-care and looking at all the different areas of mind, body, and spirit, especially right now, I think how just times are just challenging, and there may be an area that it's we have to get so creative right now, where it's well, wait a minute, I was going to the gym for years and years during the winter time. And now I'm having to find these creative ways. So that area, there may be some challenges, and it may even have taken a back seat, since COVID times. So really looking and taking a self-inventory of how we're showing up, having balance in all these different areas, because that's what really helps our whole well-being feel like we are in a state of wellness, in a state of feeling good. So that way we're able to go back out into the world, do our work, take care of our children, do all the things that we want to do to be able to show up in the world. So really looking at all of these different areas and kind of breaking them down and kind of seeing, where do I need a little bit of work on? What areas do I really need the work on? So are we, with the mind, are we filling ourselves with these uplifting thoughts in the morning? Are we challenging ourselves? Are we really taking the time to challenge ourselves in our mind and be able to bring that in? Are we getting the proper nutrition? Are we getting the proper exercise? And with the spirit, are we really connecting with, our higher power, connecting with divine, doing the yoga, doing the meditation that maybe we used to do, but now something else has taken place, and just connecting that part of spirit, especially for me, when I think about the spirit area. Of course, I think about connecting with the divine, but I also think about just how much I would get out of the connection from other people, and that was so all the synchronicities that just made me feel very my spirit just felt really good, So how are we making sure that we're getting all of these areas in, especially now, in order to really just feel like we're living, fruitful, fulfilled lives, So yeah, so that's the kind of looking at that and figuring out what do we need to do to get back into balance. Yeah. So can you, Lisa, maybe talk a little bit about, what you do, on a daily basis, if there is, an area where you'd like to get back into balance, or just what is your routine how you try to keep these areas into your daily practice?
I am so happy to answer that. And are we breaking this down? Do you want me just to talk about mind first, and then we'll kind of split it up?
Sure. Yeah, sounds good.
Because then you can share too, and then we'll go to body. Okay. So I really have always been into personal growth and development, as have you. And I think it's really important to stimulate the mind on a daily basis. So for me, meditation is one. And of course, that is also a spiritual thing. So we can come back to that in a little while, but it's still part of what feeds my mind. And I love to read a spiritual, something in the morning. I love to read something in the morning. And it could be a spiritual book. It could be a personal development book. I like to stay really on top of what can help me improve in my own vocation, and I like to keep up with the news, but really peripherally. Like I don't, I am not into the news on a daily basis. It's depressing. So for my own mind, my own peace of mind, I kind of steer away from the heavy news. And what else could I say about that? I mean, I think that's kind of it. Just a lot of reading, self-development, taking courses, learning, keeping my mind sharp. How about you? What are you doing for your mind?
So, yeah, I really agree with you on, the meditation. And yeah, just staying up with work. I'm a school-based occupational therapist, and there's just always so much to learn. So just staying up with, taking courses, and just trying to lean into staying active, with the profession. And I think, just listening to a lot of Tony Robbins, listening to things on the law of attraction. But I think really it's that growth, kind of feeling of being like, instead of staying stuck somewhere, you're like, I'm learning something new. My brain is changing because I'm growing and I'm learning and I'm evolving in my brain. So I think that's where like the mind really comes in. It's like, how are we really challenging ourselves to kind of think a little bit differently and continue to evolve and grow? So any opportunity that I can listen to a podcast or just lean into, and I just got a new coach, because us coaches, we know that how important it is to have a coach. So he stimulates me and challenges my mind in order to think in different ways. So they're the things that I'm doing right now. Yeah.
That's so great. And I wanted to add one other thing. So I like to surround myself with people who are interesting and like to have intellectual conversations because I like to go deep, and it can be annoying to some people. But one of the things I'm doing with my daughter, for example, is we are teaching a course on the Enneagram coming up this week, and that is forcing me to learn more. So like whenever you teach a subject, you got to dig into it and learn it better than you knew it before, right? So that you can be a teacher and help. So I wanted to add that because I think whenever we, come into leadership or do something like that, that's also very stimulating and growth centered. So
yeah.
Totally.
How about the body?
Oh, the body.
should we move into the body?
Yeah, you go first this time.
Okay. So I just finished a Tabata workout. If you want to know anything about Tabatas, please message me and I'll tell you about how I do that. It's just something that I can do at home. I can slip over my yoga mat and it's, 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off, and I'll do 4 or 5 rounds of it. And even if it's a 25-minute workout, I get a sweat going and I feel so good. And all those good, hormones kicking in from just getting a workout are just so amazing of what that does for, your body and your mind. It's amazing. So do that. I will do some yoga once in a while. I will, get some yoga in maybe a couple times a week just for stretching. I'll run outside. They're the things that I'm doing like pretty regularly, but 4 or 5, sometimes 6 times a week, hiking. I'm, living in California, like I'm just lucky to have like amazing hikes really close by. So that's something that I get to do more leisure also, with friends. So that's something that I enjoy. And as far as, body, the way that I'm fueling my body is just like a lot of meal prep. I noticed that if I really spend the time and just thinking about how am I going to plan out my meals for this week, and I just think about it, it just takes such little amount of effort and it sets me up for success with my eating to make sure that I'm staying at a weight, especially during these times when, if we're home more often, we're just closer to the refrigerator and it's easier to just have snacks, even the healthy snacks. It can add up in calories, So really setting up, doing that meal prep has been a huge, saver for me in keeping my weight down and feeling energized.
Yes, that is such a great idea. And we do a lot of that too. Sundays are kind of meal prep days, right? get to the grocery store, you buy the stuff you want, you make your tuna salad, your chicken salad, your egg salad, all that on Sunday. Bake your muffins on Sunday. And like Colleen said, get those snacks ready and your lunches and stuff for work. And that way it really is easy and you don't have to think about it Monday through Friday. So that's beautiful. And I will say for my body, I really try to eat healthy. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm kind of like an 80-20 girl, but I eat a ton of salads. I supplement. Excuse my voice tonight. I supplement. I take collagen. I take digestive enzymes. I take probiotics and prebiotics and all that kind of stuff. And also I use essential oils a lot. So I use them sometimes internally, but mostly externally, but they have helped me cure a lot of different things. And so that supports my body and my mind as well. As far as exercise, yoga is my thing and walking. And sometimes I do a little bit of weights. But yeah, I try to get a little bit of yoga in, even if it's just a stretch, because I'm working sitting most of the day. So I get up and I do some of these stretches during the day to just wake up my body, And then I think probably one of the most important things for the body, which I'm really working on, is sleep. I think that if we get enough sleep, it's huge. And I do struggle with this because my mind just goes like this at night, and then you're laying in bed and you start itching and you're thinking and it's hard to go to sleep. But I'm really working on that, just getting more sleep and rest. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's great. Is there one essential oil that you say that you really like for maybe just like calming and kind of bringing down, just relaxation at the end of the day? Is there any ones that you really would recommend?
Well, there's a blend by a company called doTERRA. It's called Serenity. And I kind of use that one at night. And I even use it during the day when I put my legs up on the couch and I'm laying on the floor and I breathe in my Serenity or lavender or frankincense, something like that. And that just really calms me down, sets me up for relaxation and sleep.
Yeah. I didn't know that frankincense was for relaxation. I think I have some of that. I'm going to try it. That's awesome.
It's good. It's good stuff. Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks.
What's next?
Okay. So the spirit. So we talked a little bit about meditation, and really it's interesting because we say like mindful meditation, but really it's, coming back to your breath and trying to get rid of all of what's going on in the mind. Not get rid of it. We just kindly come back to the breath, but that, even if we can catch a few seconds of just stillness, it really is an advantage. And, there's just so much talk around meditation, how great it is for us. But if we can really have the consistent practice and we have even a few times a week where we really can sink in and come to that state of relaxation, it's really an advantage of how much more calm we show up, how we are just less, quick to act when there would be a situation that we might be angry or there might be a situation that is uncomfortable, how we can really kind of just approach it differently. So that's been something that has been a part of my practice that I just try to keep regular. And then, like I said, with like trying to just connect with people as much as possible. The circles are small right now, with COVID, it's my neighbors and like, one or two other friends, circles are smaller. But that's really important. And just prayer, so meditation and prayer and Reiki. I'm a Reiki practitioner. So doing Reiki on myself. Yeah. And then sending it off to others is also really healing and relaxing and just connects me back in to this like hope, like this hope and faith and what just really, livens my spirit and makes me feel well. Yeah.
Yeah. Good stuff. And so I would say for me, spirituality, I do bring in meditation for that. I personally like to use mantras. and breath work, of course. And I like to go like 20 to 30 minutes. You know, I haven't really done it for an hour yet, but I kind of like a nice good stretch of time for quiet time. What happens like when we're during the day, when we're thinking and doing and busy, our brain waves are like this, right? And so what meditation does, and this is for everybody else is listening, the brain waves start to slow down when you're meditating. And this creates space for divine creativity to enter into your brain and your soul. So that's one of the reasons I really love meditation. I do try to start my day off with a spiritual reading of some sort, something really short that I can digest and maybe contemplate for a while. I love to pray, and I do pray particularly for people who are suffering. And oh, there was something else I was going to add to the spiritual thing. Oh, I do have a suggestion for people who don't really know where to go with spirituality. There's a lot of wisdom literature out there. And if you just Google wisdom literature, you can find all kinds of cool readings. It's fun to kind of read a book of poetry by a Sufi master, you know, something like that. And just gives you a different perspective. And yeah, and I think community is nice too, to have people who will talk to you, stay in touch with you, pray for you, that kind of thing. So that's very important to me. I think it's really grounding. So I do love to keep all those things in balance. And I try hard, and let me tell you, it's not easy. Working full time and having a coaching business, as you know, it keeps us pretty darn busy. So it is kind of hard sometimes to find that time to work out or to do those things. Journaling is something that I kind of have to pass up some mornings because I just don't have time to do it all. And I want to say that if you really want balance, don't be hard on yourself if you're not able to do these things all the time. Just pick them up when you can, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's so true. It's just finding the time for it, but it's being aware that having this balance is going to just bring more wellness to your life, right?
Exactly. So Colleen, if somebody came to you and they were struggling in one or more of these areas, you know, how would you guide them into finding this balance?
So as an insight coach, we are really looking for, you know, people to come up with, you know, what is it, like what's underneath? Why is it not working for your life? You know, and as coaches, we're not telling people what to do and imposing, you know, our beliefs and, you know, who we are and, you know, things that have worked and have not worked for us onto others. Our first go-to is to be able to, you know, ask questions and really find the deeper meaning, you know, behind it and underneath it. And it's just so beautiful because, like, you know, when you have that opportunity to talk to somebody about these areas that they might be struggling with, sometimes they just look at you like, wow, no one has ever actually listened that deeply before. And you're just asking questions and you're holding space in a whole different way. So yeah, so it would be really just getting underneath. Why is it not working? And what are how can you make it work? In what way and what things can you add into your life that just spark joy and that are fun for you, that you can kind of make it work for your life?
Yeah, that's beautiful. Awesome. Well, I think that we want to let people know that if anybody needs to talk about this kind of stuff, they can reach out to us. If you know us, we're on Facebook right now. I think we're streaming to YouTube, but you can find me on Facebook, Lisa Neller, Kneller, Lisa.Neller probably, and then Colleen McCloskey, SKEY at the end, right?
Yeah.
And then Colleen, let's talk about this challenge. We want to encourage people to join us.
So I would love to, you know, start a challenge where we have 7 days where we try to fit in some activities, mind, body, and spirit activities for 1 hour a day. So I know in particular for me, I spend about 40 minutes with my workout a day. So then that would leave, 10 minutes for, maybe meditation. I happen to do it longer, but wanting to bring more people to challenge them to really look at creating balance in these 3 different areas, right?
Yeah.
So my computer is plugged into my light and it's draining my battery like crazy. So I actually have to charge it.
Okay.
So I'm going to finish in just a second.
Okay. Yeah.
I was at 50% and it just drained it.
Oh, wow.
I know. I've never experienced that before because I have a light on.
Well, so those of you who are out there that are watching and you want to kind of participate in this challenge, I mean, it's really up to you how you want to do it. But basically, Colleen's going to invite us to participate, I think, in a group chat or something where we can just share our ideas, how we're doing, encourage each other, and that kind of thing. Does that sound right, Colleen? Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And really we'll leave a list of like just different ways for you to engage in this, whether it's journaling, whether it's, doing Tabata workouts, working outside, working out with other people in your neighborhood, and really finding a way that just is fun for you. And it just it sparks joy and, something that you enjoy doing and that you can kind of work back at keeping that balance into your life and trying to make it work, especially now during these times where it might be a little bit more challenging. And as a group, and we're sharing our ideas, maybe we can even grow in, other ways to kind of make it work, during these times.
Yeah. So where can they find us? Like just message on, we're going to start a group on Facebook, like a messenger group?
Sure. So if you are interested, if you listen to this, if you're listening now or you're watching the replay, just give a little emoji that you would like to be part of the group and we will include you in, and we'll be starting on Wednesday. And it'll be for 7 days, seeing if we can do 1 hour of mind, body, spirit activities during the day.
Yes, that's going to help me. I know. So, Hey, thanks everyone for listening. Colleen, you and I are going to be back together talking about some other topics, right?
Absolutely. This was awesome.
It's too much fun not to.
Right? It was so fun chatting with you, as always.
Yeah, you too. Yeah, thank you. All right, folks, we'll see you next time. God bless.
Bye.
Bye.